Hello everyone, and welcome back with Mrs. Struble. In this video, we're going to go over subtracting rational numbers. In our previous video, we discussed how to subtract integers. The great news here is it's pretty much the same thing because that definition of subtraction remains the same. Subtraction in itself is simply adding the opposite of one number to another. So when we're subtracting rational numbers, we have a process that we follow. Okay? It's called keep, change, change. It can be called different things: keep, change, flip, keep, flip, change, keep, change, invert. Okay? Pretty much any synonym for change in math will work here. Now, what this means is this. First, we are going to keep the first number the same. We're not going to change that first number at all in any way. Then, because subtraction is adding the opposite, we are going to change that subtraction to addition. That's that first change. Then we will change the second number to its opposite so that we are now adding the opposite of one number to the first number. After we do that, we simply add like normal. So let's go ahead and do a couple of examples here. Okay. Oops, hold on. Here we go. Our first example, went a little too far there. Okay. 1/5 minus -4/5. Okay. All right. Just like in integers, this example is a subtraction, so we keep, change, change. All right. Keep the first number the same, change the subtraction to addition, and then change -4/5 to +4/5. All right. From here, we're going to add normally. Well, we have fractions, so when we're adding fractions, we have to have that common denominator. Turns out we already have it, and then we just add up the numerator pieces. So 1 plus 4 is going to give us 5 pieces out of 5 pieces in all, which is going to give us 1 whole. Now, a lot of us at first don't really know why we have to change, but the truth is you've been really kind of doing this all along. You just were not taught it that way. So let's think back to the elementary years when they said 5 minus 2, okay? We all know that that's 3. Why? Well, they told you, okay, here's 5 pencils, and you just take away 2 of them. That's how they taught you. Now, that's all well and good, yes. But to using the true definition of subtraction doesn't change the answer to the problem. They just taught you a different way. Okay? So using the true definition of subtraction, we have 5, change, keep, change, change, okay? Change to addition, and change this to a -2. And you'll see we have 5 positives over here, 2 negatives over here now. We have those 0 pairs when we put them all together. You'll see that it's really the same thing. There's that 0 pairs, those go away, and we're left with 1, 2, 3 positives. So the answer still remains +3. We just used the definition rather than a little trick they taught us in elementary. Okay? So this works no matter what. All right. Having that said, let's go ahead and do another example using fractions. We have -4 1/7 minus 5/7. Okay? We're going to keep, change, change. Keep this first number. This first number is a negative. It's going to stay negative here. Change the subtraction to an addition problem, and then change this 5/7 to negative 5/7. Excuse me. All right. Now, again, we're working with fractions here. Okay. So we need to add the rational numbers like we would normally. When we add rational numbers, we have to ask ourselves those three questions. Are they the same sign or a different sign? In this case, they are the same. Okay. When they're both adding, it's easy for us because, oh, hey, we're used to that. But those are still the same sign as well. So what did we do when they were the same sign? Well, we simply just added. Okay. All right. So because these are the same sign, they're both negative, we're going to add. The final question we have to be careful to ask ourselves is, what is my answer going to be? Is it going to be a positive or a negative? And in this case, because we have both negatives, you can think of it this way. We have 4 negatives over here and then almost 1 negative over there. Okay. There are no zero pairs. So I don't care, even though we're dealing with fractions and fractions can be kind of stressful on us sometimes, we still only have negatives. There's no zero pairs, no canceling going on. So we are going to end up with a negative as an answer. And now we can totally forget about those negative signs and add those fractions like we would normally. Okay, so we took care of the sign. Let's add those fractions. 4 1/7 plus 5/7. We know the sign's going to be a negative. Okay. Before we even get to this point, we have our problem already set up. We know we're adding, we know our answer is going to be a negative. So now it's just a matter of putting the numbers where they go and then adding the fractions. 1/7 plus 5/7 is 6/7. And then 4 plus nothing is 4. Okay. Our answer then is -4 6/7. Now let's go into some examples involving decimals, because decimals are also rational numbers, or at least most of them are. If we have 2 4/10 minus 5 6/10. Okay. This is a subtraction problem, so using the definition of subtraction, keep, change, change. Keep 2.4, or 2 4/10, change the subtraction sign to addition, and then change 5 6/10 to -5 6/10. Okay, now from here, we need to subtract those, or excuse me, we need to add these rational numbers. Adding rational numbers, 3 questions, same or different? And here we see they are different. One is positive and one is negative. Okay, they're different. So different signs we're going to subtract. I'm going to set up my math problem already right here. Okay. We know we're going to be subtracting. All right, check. Different signs, we're subtracting. What's the sign of our answer going to be? In other words, what do we have more of? Do we have more positives or do we have more negatives? In this case, we have more negatives. We have 5 of them. So our answer is going to be a negative. So we can put that negative sign right there. Boom, done already. Okay. Now all we have to do is put these numbers, write these decimals down so that we can do our subtraction problem. We have 5 6/10 is the largest absolute value here. So we're going to put that first. And we're going to subtract normally. 6 minus 4, 2. The decimal falls down. 5 minus 2, 3. We already know it's a negative because we dealt with that already. We dealt with that first. And the answer is -3 2/10. Okay. Let me give you some problems to try it on yourself, on your own. See how you do. pause the video after you've written these down and give them a try. There's going to be a total of 6 of them, okay? Just remember, keep, change, change, same or different, add or subtract. What is the sign of the answer? Then you can deal with adding the fractions or adding the decimals. Okay? All right, pause the video and give it a try. I'll be back with the answers. Now that you've given it a try, here we go. Let's see how you did. Okay? The first one. When you keep, change, change, you're simply just adding 1/3 plus 1/3. That gets us 2/3. Number 2, keep, change, changing. Again, they're going to be negative, so we add them and we end up with -4. Number 3, we got -1/2. Now in this one, we had to put the 5 and we had to subtract the absolute values here because we end up with different signs. So make sure you're subtracting because they're different signs and we have more negatives here than we have positives. Number 4, we ended up with -6. Again, same sign, they end up being both negatives, so -6, we add them, add the absolute values. Number 5, we end up with 0. They end up, sorry, I didn't put the little negative there, okay? Now, in this case, obviously I didn't give you the negative properly, okay? So then you would have different signs, or you would have same signs, so you would add them, okay? I did not give you the negative first, so the answer, the correct answer would be 17.6, -17.6, okay? Had I put a negative right here, then if you keep, change, changed, they would have canceled each other out, okay? But I forgot to do that. I was going to give you one with 0, but oops. All right, and then number 6 was 5/10. Okay, keep, change, change, and we end up just adding. All right, so, or you can have the 0 there, but we really don't need a 0 at the end. All right, so how'd you do? Hopefully you did well. If not, make sure you come see me and let's see if we can get you through this little hump, okay? All right, thank you for joining me on another video. This time we are focusing on subtracting those rational numbers, and I'll catch you later, okay? Have a good day.